You know, Minneapolis is a mid-sized city, 384,000 people live here. It's a business center and a regional destination.
Minneapolis had hundreds of numbers published in their local phone book for city services. They receive thousands of calls a day, and of those calls, perhaps 20 to 30% of them were misrouted.
You had to determine what the department was that you needed to talk to tell us about a particular problem. And that's hard to figure out too in a big, complex city.
We knew that residents weren't getting the kind of service when they called in for something. We knew something had to be checked and fixed. We wanted to not only improve how residents got into the city and were treated once they were in the city, but that the systems that support that were improved along the way as well. So the Lagan system helped us understand what areas we needed to work in to get that done.
Well, the Lagan FrontLink CRM system, as we refer to it as, is really a cornerstone to our ability to do what we do today at Minneapolis 311. So when you dial 311 within the city of Minneapolis, it basically brings your call into our center and gets you right to an agent that's there to probe and inquire and find out exactly what's going on. If we answer the question, the call is completed, and that customer really doesn't need to go any further. But if they have a service request that they want something done, maybe it's a pothole fixed, a street light fixed, maybe there's an issue with an animal out in the neighborhood. Basically what happens is that service request goes to the department that's going to go out in the field and take care of it. The really slick part of FrontLink and 311 is that all of the agents are scripted to ask all the right questions so that when that information goes to the back office, they have pretty much everything they need to go out and resolve the problem.
The 311 system identifies possibly a number of different city departments on one specific issue and makes sure that they are all simultaneously working on that issue to get it addressed properly. Whereas before you really had to rely on that employee to make sure Public Works was notified or the street department or another entity. 311 does all that front-end work for you so you can focus on the issues related to your own department.
The main purpose was to make the city responsible once a citizen had an issue. It becomes our issue when they call 311, and then we determine the appropriate place to, put the work order in place and get the work done. This 311 system really links them very closely to the city so they can see when they make a complaint and it is dealt with, how long it takes, whether it's an efficient service, and they feel if it's dealt with correctly, they feel like they're getting their bang for their buck and their tax dollar.
Technology is really an enabler for us to really do the things we want to do even better, faster, quicker. And as we've done a lot of process analysis and put all of that together, what we've been able to do is put at the fingertips of our customer service agents a tool that has an extreme amount of power for them to be able to answer the questions or get people to the right people that can truly help them.
So what makes Lagan different at a business level is that we focus on just public sector. That's very distinct from a commercial CRM vendor who just have a commercial CRM product which is horizontal, it is not public sector specific. We have pre-built 311 processes that support the sort of scenarios where a constituent wants to report a pothole and have an agent capture those details, perhaps on the web as well, and have that passed to a back office and have a field worker perhaps go out in a mobile situation or a field situation and fix that pothole, enter the details of the resolution into a mobile device, all support by our technology, but those processes are all pre-built.
Well, I think it is important you have the right software and you have nimble, capable software, and certainly the Lagan FrontLink software is that.
We we're continuing to be able to do the kinds of changes and support the business changes that we need because the system is so flexible. Whether it's interfacing with another back office system or whether it's changing something almost on the fly because something happened last night, we can put that in our knowledge base and it can be at our customer service agent's fingertips in the morning. That kind of turnaround in government is not normally heard of, and that's what we're doing every day here at 311.
For instance, on election day, 311 did take a lot of the phone calls about where do I vote, how do I register to be able to vote on election day.
We frankly have some ideas about how we can smooth out some time for the delegates to the Republican National Convention next summer and using 311. So there's a number of things that we're focusing on right now, and again, we feel we've got the right pieces in place in order to get bigger and better.
It forces you to think differently about the kinds of changes you should make. This is especially true as we're starting to apply the reports and data from the system to our budgeting process. For the first time, our policymakers in the city are able to have kind of unit costs of making a certain improvement.
Minneapolis just had their one-year anniversary of their implementation of their 311 system in January, and the statistics showed that they actually improved first call resolution from 50 to 65%. They actually reduced their call abandon rate from over 20% to below 5%.
The non-emergency calls to 911 have been reduced by 33% this year compared to what they were 2 years ago. And so that becomes significant in the 911 center where we want to be able to focus on the true emergencies.
Our knowledge base is growing every day. So what we're looking at here at 311 is to continue our first call resolution increase and improvement. We're currently at over 70% and we're looking to raise that to 80%. We're going to be able to grow what we do and to do it very well. We're going to be able to measure customer satisfaction. We're going to be able to measure the quality of what we do.
311, frankly, has been one of the best things that Minneapolis has done recently in the eyes of the citizens. And we really feel proud that we've provided easy access to the citizens, to the government.
Folks that have an experience with the 311 Center in Minneapolis really fundamentally appreciate kind of both the treatment and the organization of how we approach their question or concern. And they notice it, and they know that they have a different kind of interaction, a different kind of conversation. And that's huge for the reputation of a city.
We've had people say that you've raised the bar significantly as to what our expectations are. And so as we raise those expectations here in Minneapolis, people around the area are going to have their expectations raised as well. And they should, because that's what they pay government to do.